do, mi, do, kiwi, dance up to scream and hold me. Can we use a little soup though? We will be inside you.
Hello once again, my chickadees. Game & Chick is back once again with another review. Before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to Square Enix for providing me with a review copy of the game to make this review possible. Thank you very much. So now with that having been said, time to start the journey. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the long-awaited, anticipated sequel to the previous title of Remake, and it is developed and published by Square Enix. With the realization that this game is finally exploring venues and characters from the original game that weren't present in Remake, fans have been anxiously waiting to see if it's done with the proper respect and care. So does the title live up to the original title's charm, or did they trip at the finish line? Only one way to find out, so let's go! Story. Cloud Strife and his companions set out in the vast world in search of Sephiroth to attempt to save the world from whatever he has planned. But with the further discoveries that unfold, more mysteries remain. The journey to save the planet has only just begun. Gameplay. It has been a very long 4 years since Remake's release in 2020.
Now here we are in 2025,
And the continued ventures of Cloud and his buddies continue on in an even bigger and broader scale than even I was expecting, especially with the way Remake had ended. Which, if you were around at the time of my Remake review, you'd know that I was not a big fan of the way things went at the end of Remake, and that it felt like some of the worst fanfiction I've ever seen. Sure, it was cool looking and on such a scale of epicness that it looked base and played great, but it was such a departure from how the rest of the game unfolded. So much, in fact, that it felt like an entirely different game itself and basically used the worst elements possible from both Advent Children and Kingdom Hearts. Like, yikes! Needless to say, I was a bit triggered. Not as much as my annoyance for things like the plot ghosts, aka Whispers, who are an abomination and I hate the fact that they exist. So much that I would do a blood sacrifice during the third blood moon of the 10th year in a cemetery during the winter solstice in Bohemian Grove if that's what it took to get rid of them in these games. Noticed how I said games and not game? Yup, that's right. They're back again and even worse than ever before. And even more idiotic and mind-numbing than you thought was possible. It's even worse than being dead tired, getting in bed. It's nice and cold, so you fall asleep comfy and cozy, and then get woken up at 3 in the morning because you have to pee, which wakes you up to the point that you can't get to sleep properly again, and yes, they're worse than that. Damn pee ghosts. But enough about the overly negative stuff. We'll definitely have more negatives to cover the further I get in this review, but for the most part, it will be rather positive. With the latest entry of Rebirth, the game itself faces an uphill battle to not only live up to the quality that brought us Remake and the retelling of those iconic scenes, but also figure out a way to expand the world and lore itself by taking us to places like Calm, Nibelheim, Coral, Gold Saucer, Mithril Mines, and many other places from the original game that gave each of us special memories that have endured in our brains for decades. Like remembering the first time you arrive at Chocobo Bill's farm and hearing the silly sounding music and dancing chocobos, or screaming in panic as you try to cross the swamp, but being stopped in your tracks due to the gigantic Midgard-Sormer serpent coming to make you its next meal. While we were excited to relive these moments, we were confused as to how it would be done. Square made Remake in Midgar only. While it was a very good game, it was basic and linear in the design department. But it did give us one of the best characters to ever grace the series. The Door. I love you, Door. So if they had to put one game in Midgar only, how the hell were they going to do these areas too? It would take forever, right? Oh, baby Koopa, was I ever wrong. Through my trek of Rebirth, in which I put in over 80 hours of gameplay into it as of this time, with definitely way more to come so that I can get the eventual Platinum trophy for the game that I got in Remake. From the start, I was immediately floored from the get-go, with seeing the new and reimagined Calm with my eyes for the very first time. My literal first thoughts were mixed between wow and holy shit, with the latter of the two being a recurring theme throughout my playthrough. The city was robust, it was alive, hundreds of NPCs, all with their own unique dialogue and animations and things to say, reacting to your movements, playing music or selling food, and even having a full-on concert in one of their showrooms, in which this random dude is performing in the hopes of making a name for himself. I feel like this is the same guy from Midgar Wall Market in the first game that sang karaoke in the bar. I'm pretty sure this is him, but regardless, these songs are pretty damn good. I literally sat and listened to him perform every song he had in his arsenal, and I was not disappointed. Please, all local radio stations, take the garbage that's blasted over the airwaves nowadays and put this guy from the game on. I'm begging you. Visually, Calm was just an absolute spectacle, and every detail down to the walls, roofs, aesthetics were just simply fantastic. It was at this moment doing side quests for characters like climbing tower with Aerith, building bonds with Tifa and Red to prep for my eventual gold saucer date, because you know I gotta get my date with Tifa, right? There's no question. But it was that moment, as wowed as I had been, I realized that I still hadn't left the town yet, and I again was not prepared for what I was about to experience. A fully traversable, open world with seamless travel. Well, mostly. When you first step out of Calm into the grasslands, you're immediately hit with the scope of just how large the area of the grasslands is just by itself. It's absolutely massive, and it makes you a bit confused as well. Why confused? Well, now in this large expanded world, you have to figure out just what the hell you want to do with your life now that you're finally here. So with this new open world, your first questions probably are, what do you do in the open world, and is the world empty? The answer to these questions are a lot, and yes and no. It's hard to describe really, but I'll attempt to. When you play and advance the story in the game, you will come across various regions that are open world or rather big open areas that give you the illusion that it's an open world, with barriers like cliffs to cut off your path from going to a certain area, either too soon or at all, as well as branches and stuff that hinder your progression until certain requirements are met, like acquiring the buggy after your stint in the Gold Saucer and driving over what blocked you, or simply finding the right key for a side quest that unlocks the door leading to a brand new area to traverse. This level of thought and exploration extends to multiple large regions such as the Grasslands, where you can visit Chocobo Bill's farm from the original game, participate in a Chocobo tutorial race, buy cute gear for your Chocobo, find a man in a house and challenge him to a game of Queen's Blood to take the Chocobo Moogle card he has, fight the Do-Recompense punk from Remake, who remember that you and Aerith kicked the crap out of them, and have hilarity ensue, etc. But that's not the only reason with things to do, as we do have a few others to talk about as well, from linear to explorative like the Grasslands. As I've tried to emphasize, revisiting iconic locations like Junon, Cosmo Canyon, Nibelheim, Gold Saucer, Calm, Gungaga.
Me? Gone.
Evoked a feeling of excitement and enthralled me at every twist and turn, leaving me with a sense of rejuvenation that I had not felt in an open world game in quite some time, with only games like Breath of the Wild being a comparable second. Through each expansive open world areas that I listed, while you traverse on foot, on Chocobo, ride your buggy cart, all areas are individually littered with side quests, combat challenges, Queen Blood card games, treasure hunts, intelligence towers, notorious monster hunts, life springs, summon intel, etc. This in turn, if you're borderline ADHD like me, will make it very hard to move onto the main story due to the sheer amount of content to do. And while some of the content in each area can feel a bit of the same, such as climbing and clicking a button on a tower to unlock further objectives on your map, or digging with your Chocobo to find a mission objective, the overall as a whole content can feel not only rewarding, but give you quite a few laughs along the way as well, that utilize both the playfulness of the original game's style and goofy aspect of its bravado, and intertwine that with its engaging and flashy combat system that chains together to further expand on the deep lore Final Fantasy VII and makes you invested into each character. While it also lets players like myself and original game players have their Captain America moment when we hear specific music, or see Palmer teasing us and shaking his butt after he slaps it. It leaves us with a hey, he did the thing moment. So I keep harping on all of this content and almost talking in circles in a way. And yes, that's kind of true because there's so damn much to talk about that I can't cover everything. So while I'm doing this, I'm still thinking of ways to actually properly convey the full aspects of the game. Again, as stated, this game has content that extends into every major region, with Costa del Sol sharing a region with Coral, which can get a bit confusing when you're doing missions for our boy Johnny and he's like, bro, give me a Tonberry King crown. And you're like, yeah, sure, okay. And then you go to do it, only to find out that you can't do it yet because it's not available for a few more chapters. The same holds true for each region's World Intel as well. World Intel are a collection of 30 tasks that are completely optional that you can do in order to help out Chadley in collecting regional data, to unlock extra combat simulator missions, to further earn rewards such as materia, EXP, and accessories. The first of the World Intels I've already told you about, the Assassin's Creed towers that are scattered all over the world, and your objective is relatively simple. To climb it, press a button, and it does its little pew 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 and unlocks further intel on your map for you to find. Simple, yes, but somewhat exciting when you're in a new area and are intrigued to see what the tower will throw your way next. Which sometimes can be very awesome stuff, like standing at the edge of a cliff, being deep in thought as you overlook the beautiful land of the Junon region as Karate Kid music plays. What? No, I'm totally dead serious. The music near Mr. Cranky Sleepy Boy on top of a mountain, who I'm going to call Ralph just because he looks like a Ralph. It totally sounds like Miyagi would be teaching me karate up there. It's awesome. Karate Kid awesomeness aside, this still leaves you with a gangbuster of content. So we might as well start from the top, then work our way into combat, then further details on the story, then my personal dislikes, and then I'll let you leave. Well, maybe. Further expanding on the World Intel, you have life springs that you find, which are small natural Mako crystals that you can extract data from in order to learn about each region's lore, such as the war between the Republic of Junon and Midgar, which when exploring the Junon region, you can still see the effects and remnants of that war. Monster intel that allows you to enter a specific location of the map to fight a notorious monster that is way stronger than a normal enemy with an even greater challenge so that you can try to earn rare item drops off of them. These damn things kicked my ass, no lie, especially my tango against the Tonberry King. It made me feel like that Team Fortress 2 meme. I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me. Why do Tonberries have to be so dang freaking cute, but at the same time possess so much murderous intent with their stabby stabs? Is the world just that unjust? After following the crazy owls, who wouldn't stop calling me on the phone as I was playing Fatal Frame, as they lead you to life springs, kill all the notorious monster missions, then you are invited to even more Gaia World lore as you participate in divine intel that has you find layers of summons like Titan, Phoenix, or even Alexander, and participate in a muscle memory game in order to extract data from it that allows you to debuff the summon in your fight with them via combat simulator with Chadley. And when all three are collected, the acquired divine intel will make your summon materia even stronger than normal, which is awesome. Next up in the content related to the overworld are Moogle intels. These are both fun and a disappointment to me, much like my first date. The reason why I say disappointment is because in the original game, Mog House was a mini-game at the Gold Saucer where you feed a fat little Mog his treats so that he can get a girlfriend, and it was cute as heck. But here in Rebirth, it's a literal and physical Mog House out in the world that actually exists, which is both really cool and very weird. The objective of these houses is to help the nightmare-inducing Mog of the house get all the Mogs back to work so that they can open up their store for you so that you can purchase things with your acquired Mog medals. To achieve this goal of helping this nightmare fuel of a face Mog, you must chase down each friend and make them escape into a pen before the allotted time runs out, while they throw bombs at you, launch energy attacks, or make you slip on a banana peel. Get back here, you freaking jerk! Don't make me eat you! As I was saying, it's both fun and a disappointment for me. But I can appreciate the expansion of the concept, so I can't be too mad at it. You know who I can be mad at, though? Kate Sith.
Soft. Overrated. Pretty boy. A bitch.
He gets to sit on Tifa's lap. Jealousy levels rising, that piece of crap. It should have been me, not him. It's not fair. Finally, we have my favorite piece of side content in the game, the Proto-Relics. These are a series of quests that change every region, and I feel like they're the most fleshed out and imaginative of the world intel. For example, in the Grassland region, as mentioned before, you chase around the punks from Remake to different locations, beat them up, drop crates on their heads, and make them play dead in fear, which is pretty dang funny. I love these silly guys. However, as you head over into the Junon region, these proto-relic missions change again, but this time transforming you into block polygon models from the original Final Fantasy VII, and you're tasked with playing a game of Fort Condor, which was first introduced in Final Fantasy VII Intermission UV DLC. And then my last example for now, as I don't want to give up everything, takes place in the region of Coral, where you must locate reactors with a magical Coctuar statue to find hidden bases where you must strike a deal with Dobby, a goblin, in order to get the proto-relic from his possession. Weird, right? Yes, but very on brand for Final Fantasy VII. Doing all these in every compatible region will give you more insight and glimpses of another foe, Gilgamesh, who is just itching for your challenge. While you're exploring your head off, you will also have to retune your skills into getting reacquainted with the game's battle system, should you have played Remake or Intermission. While it's not drastically different from the core concept of the original game, or even a far departure from Intermission, it still pushes the system forward enough to make it that much more interesting and engaging by introducing a folio system that acts as your character's sphere grid a la Final Fantasy X, to earn more abilities, combo attacks, MP or HP up, defensive moves in relation to your character's levels, synergy attacks that allow a two-character team up that changes based off characters in your party, that unleashes a wide amount of damage to your foes, including either raising your ATB, infinite MP for short periods, or invulnerability for a short period as a short-length buff after successfully pulling off a move. These can be used no matter who you are pairing up with. Whether it's Aerith and Tifa, creating a barrier for Tifa to jump and zip around in to fight, Cloud swinging Tifa into an enemy as she and Cloud double-team combo attack an enemy, or a Cloud and Aerith attack which turns his sword into a powerful magic blade. With 7 playable characters, that's dozens of different synergy combos to try out during the fast-paced melee combat, turn-based battle by pressing X to allow you to slow down time, to pick your more traditional style, managing your materia add-on for all characters, which includes weapon abilities for each character's weapons that unlock the more you level up your characters with SP points, that give upgrades like 200 extra HP, stronger synergy, skill upgrades to make your attack more potent, and other abilities that are not only unique to the weapon you're using, but to the character wearing it as well, which in turn makes each character worth trying out to get the hang of. Just like you, Tifa, and you, Barrett, and you, Cloud, and you, Doggo, and... no, not you. You dumb cat. Go choke on a fortune card and burn, Kate Sith. Much like the original title, here in Rebirth, I tried not playing him as much as humanly possible, but the one character I used a lot, in which I didn't in the original, is Yuffie. She's so awesome in this game. Maybe it's my bias, but her character development and fighting style is absolutely fantastic, and she's an absolute savage at building up stagger meters. So large expansive world with megaton to do, upgraded combo and upgrade system, fun world intel for each region, but I'm missing something. Oh yeah, that's right, the dang story. I'll dive into it a bit, but I'll try not to be too overly spoilery, such as major plot points that relate to the end of the game, but everything else will be fair game. Narratively, the game follows 90% of the same story beats from the original game, complete with Cloud and crew's adventure across the grasslands to Chocobo Bills, moving through the swamp to get by Midgard-Sormer, exploring the absolutely gorgeous Mithril mines with Barrett and Red, getting help from good old Mr. Dolphin as you participate in a race so that he can throw you to a higher platform, infiltrate Junon forces, and take part in a parade to try to get awarded the presidential accommodation that ends up with hilarious scenes of Turks and member Rude hanging out with his fellow bald brethren and singing their theme song while Aerith and Tifa act cute as hell as they pretend to be soldiers and arrest Cloud. No, Tifa, arrest me, not him! Those are just some of the story beats the game follows, flow for flow, bar for bar. But it also enhances scenes even further as well, with a full-on fight for Midgard-Sormer and Sephiroth's interference. New Shinra troop invasion scene during Calm to further up the action that the original never had, expanded story of the tragedy of Barrett and his friend dying that is a culmination of events that transpired 5 years prior when their hometown was burnt down by Shinra, which is extremely emotional. Bigger role for Costa del Sol, other than just a resort to kick a ball at Red or watch Hojo relax, and instead allows you to play dress up at the beach as you explore on your Segway, have a gigantic battle on the beach, and stare respectfully at Tifa as she just magically gets put in the tiniest bikini possible. I am definitely not sure how that happened. Extra stuff. What? We're still going? I know, but we're on the last two topics, I swear. It's just that you have no idea just how damn massive this game is. And you also have to realize that I've only talked about a tiny percentage of it so far. Besides everything that I've listed, there's still a fair share of things to do or discover that should you seek out to do so, or just want to do it because you feel like it. Beyond world intel, you have side quests in each region and towns that allow you to take on tasks for civilians that include events such as using the item maker in your main menu to create specific materials for a woman to fix her windmill, find piano pieces to get new pieces of music to play to get a higher rank on, participate in Costa del Sol festivities as you play a shooting game with Barrett to show off your skills as a marksman, collect all pieces of beachwear for Aerith, Tifa, and Cloud by finding pictures of painted coctuar hidden around the resort, return abandoned segways to their rightful spots, help crazy as hell Johnny fix up his seaside hotel alongside like 10 versions of himself that stayed in this reality due to Yuffie messing up her clone ninjutsu, engage in a Junon Army minigame as you try to lead your troops to the highest fan base as you perform live in front of a sold-out crowd, help the mayor of Calm fix the broken Mako pipes by seeking out the mercenary who said they would help but haven't, but it only ends up being Kiri from Remake who took up the mercenary name for Quick Cash. She's got way more development this go around and even has a banger of a theme song too. Then of course you have the Gold Saucer. I mean, what list would be complete without that? In this title, you will go to Gold Saucer multiple times, both story-wise and basically whenever you damn well want to, and just like the original Final Fantasy VII, there's a multitude of mini-games to play, some familiar to you with some twists, and then some brand spanking new. For example, you have minigames like G-Bike where you ride your motorcycle and slice and dice as many soldiers as possible to get the highest score, which I ended up doing. Then you also have Brawlers, the silly polygon fighter from the original, but this time it's in 3D and lets you dodge and throw punches, including using a limit break. Chocobo races to participate in, the Space Rail gun game, which is now turned into a Star Fox clone minigame, complete with barrel rolls and everything, which is awesome, before finally capping it off with the moment I've been waiting for to happen in high definition, the Gold Saucer date. I built everything up for this sole purpose. Being an ass to most characters, mainly Aerith so I can keep my bond level higher with Tifa, which like in the original game is the requirement to earn a date with your character of choice. But I wasn't prepared for what I was witnessing. If you've played Remake, then you know they teased a kiss multiple times between Cloud and Tifa, and it's like, oh my god, just do it already! So the anticipation was super high as they went on the Sky Wheel for their date, and let me just say, I was not expecting what happened at all.
Tifa, take his hand! Come on, take it! Oh my god, it's finally happening. Wait, a freaking hug? Square! You can't play with my emotions like this! I'm invested! Come on! Kiss! Kiss! Dang it!
Dislikes. Uh-oh, the dreaded dislike section has arrived, and contrary to what you've seen and heard so far, this game is far from perfect. There are several gripes for me that range from small to outright triggering when taking off my fangirl glasses and looking at the game itself from an objective standpoint. My first gripe is the existence of Cait Sith. Okay, no, I'm just joking, he's not that bad in this game. But you know what is? Queen's Blood. Look, I agree, the game is fun and even addicting, but from the very first starting moments in Calm, it's literally shoved down your throat. What starts off as a do-it-at-your-leisure type of activity starts becoming a mandatory thing after what feels like every chapter. For example, when on the cruise ship heading to Costa del Sol, you must participate in 5 rounds of Queen's Blood versus other passengers to even advance story.
Want me to go easy?
Want me to go easy?
Alright. Your funeral, though.
I was already burnt on the card game at that point, so I played around, then proceeded to forfeit the tournament to advance the story. Smart, right? I thought so. But then to finish the arc of the story, you have to play one more round as a mandatory story entry to advance. So skip or play, you have to participate. Annoyances aside, you finally make it to Costa del Sol, you finally get away from Queen's Blood, only to again have to participate in Queen's Blood in order to advance the story in a mandatory story mission. Okay, Square, I get it, you're proud of Queen's Blood, but please calm your butts down. Then, no more than a chapter or so later, as you gather food for your silly chocobo friend Pico in order to enter him into a chocobo race, you must play Queen's Blood to win him food so that he can recover from fatigue. Oh my god! Tonberry friends, kill me now. Moving on from Queen's Blood horror, my next gripe is a bit smaller and it relates to Sid. I really don't like how much his character has changed since the original game. He's not as rash or jerk or foul in this iteration of him, which was key to his character development as he changed from rough exterior type of person to more caring and understanding by the time the credits roll. But here, he's more like how he already was in Advent Children, more polite and understanding, and he's the only character I did not like with their upgrades. Yes, even Kate Sith is better. I never thought I'd see the day. My final gripe has to do with the damn plot ghosts, the Whispers. I hate the Whispers. If you thought they were dumb in Remake, prepare to hate them even more now in Rebirth because now there are 2 versions of them. Black Whispers are the ones that Sephiroth controls now, and then there are now White Whispers who are on Aerith's side, or rather the planet's side. Just what? I won't get into them too much as they partake in the ending of the game, and that's a huge spoiler, but they ruin and taint so much just like Remake. They're everything I hate from the new changes to the soon-to-be trilogy. Overall, at the end of the day, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth ends up an extremely fun, engaging love letter to the franchise. Yes, it has its issues with over-reliance on Queen's Blood, questionable character changes, head-scratching elements in relation to Zack and those stupid-as-hell Whispers, but with the journey of Cloud and his crew's constant emotional venture into new territories that strengthen the bonds of each character as the game progresses, that are interwoven with combat scenarios that offer variations to explore, like taking minecarts down Coral Mountain, using a new grapple hook feature as Yuffie to swing your way across sections of the map that only she as a ninja can do, synergy abilities that enhance the gameplay in innovative ways, like splitting the ATB bars and improving enemy stagger, driving around in the buggy in the desert and listening to character banter, engaging in quick combat system that keeps you on the edge of your seat, over-the-top silly scenes like Yuffie's attitude being infectious and showing off her kid side more, dance scenes in the Gold Saucer, and the battle with Dio offering creativity and laughs, etc., etc. Hell, I didn't even get into Bugenhagen and the amazing emotionally charged Cosmo Canyon talk, visit to Gungaga, stage play at Gold Saucer, Temple of the Ancients, Black Materia, plot twist with Sephiroth, Barret looking like this big marshmallow in a sailor outfit, etc., etc. Like I said, there's so much content in this game that it's impossible to convey in one review alone. So to wrap this up, there's 2 verdicts I need to give. One from the perspective of bias and a longtime fan of Final Fantasy VII since it's my favorite game of all time, and then one from the viewpoint without rose-tinted glasses. The fangirl and FF7 fan of me absolutely adored this game from start to finish. Everything was damn near perfect in every aspect, from gameplay, environments, gorgeous music and visuals, side quests being fun and never feeling like a chore. It's easily one of my favorite games I've played in years and my personal game of the year in this early going. Now taking those glasses off, Rebirth still does remain a damn good game. But looking at it objectively, you can see it's rough around the edges in certain areas, like Junon where a glitch causes a bloom of sunlight that blinds you to the point of annoyance. Story can get all over the place with new elements added to the game and not make much sense towards the end of the game. With all new folio and combat changes, even on dynamic mode, which scales enemies to your current level, they still manage to die rather quickly. Too much reliance on Queen's Blood to the point that it can go from fun to obnoxious. Lazy environments like the basement of Shinra Mansion looking no different than your average cave in Remake, rather than what you'd expect under a mansion home, etc., etc. Rebirth to me, glasses on or not, is definitely a game that has flaws. Is it a masterpiece? No, but it's the closest I've leaned into saying one was. However, it loses out on that title for me due to the game's ending and how it takes place, much like my critique of Remake's ending. However, regardless of the game's flaws, I feel the positives far outweigh them by tenfold. And whether you're a longtime fan like myself or new to the series, there's enough content for every player to be engaged with for 80 hours or longer. So with all that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game & Chick says, bye now.
worn cobblestones, listening to people rushing past to rhythms all their own.
Goodbye.
Life passing me by, not thinking how the years have flown until I met you. I won't say that it was fate. I won't say that it was destiny. But if not, what could it be that drew you towards me? Could it be chance? Till the day that we meet again, where or when, I wish I could say, but believe, know that you'll find me. Promises to keep, we won't ever meet. If only I'd never known all the burdens I was born to bear. Lived a life without a care in the world save for you, but that won't do. Till the day that we meet again on our street, I want to believe in the chance that we'll share a glance. Promises to keep, we won't ever meet. Till the day that we meet again at our place, just let me believe in the chance that will come. Take my hand and never let me go. Take my hand and believe we can be together
How many died today? People die, and Aerith dances. When will she stop dancing? When will it stop? Aerith won't stop dancing. Not until Sephiroth is gone. Those were my thoughts then, I think.